This is Shauna, and welcome to the Twin Diaries. Just remember, this is Shauna, not Sana. Sana's the one who filmed the Hesse one, okay? So I really wanted to come and talk to you guys about med-surg, which is one of the most hated classes. And I wanted to name this one How to Get an med-surg, because if you don't let people scare you, you can do it. You can get an med-surg, it's possible. I wanted to start off by saying organization is like a key. So I found it best by having a binder. Don't be intimidated by how big this binder is, because I actually had med-surg and pharmacology in the same semester, so I just had the same binder for both of them. But it's this ginormous thing, okay? It's really thick. But I kept all of my notes in here, and I was separated by exam 1, exam 2, exam 3, exam 4. And I had one tab for pharmacology and then one tab for med-surg. Okay, so I'm just going to insert some clips from binder because we have a bright ring light, so you might not be able to see it. So I would just make sure that you have a really organized binder, one, because you are going to be using these notes later. On your final, you're going to have to go back to these notes. Kaplan, you're going to have to go back to these notes. I don't know if you guys take that or not, unless you're actually in school for Kaplan. I don't know. Pretty sure that's a thing. And then I also would make sure that you write, if you do write your notes, make sure you write them neatly, because 9 times out of 10, if they're messy, you're going to go back and be like, what the heck was I writing? And 2, you're not really going to want to look at them if they're hard to read. And also, I'm crazy about aesthetics, so I think that when things are pretty, you're more likely to want to study them and read them. And I often would have my friends copy my notes literally with a copier or scanner, because they were neat and easy to read and things like that. So that's definitely something that I would do. Also, one tip that you can do is, if you're one of those PowerPoint studiers, which I know a lot of people are, print out the PowerPoints and then highlight and emphasize things and write things that your teacher might say while you're in lecture. I would usually already have my notes already pre-done, because if you think about it, if you already have your notes done and then you go into lecture, you don't really have to focus on trying to catch up and write the notes, and she's talking so fast and you're like, what did she say? What did she say? You don't need to do that, because you've already read the information, so you're already going to pretty much understand what she's talking about. Now you're really just going to engage and listen and be able to ask questions, because you know what she's saying, what she's talking about. You won't have to play catch up. So, sorry guys if I talk fast and I get excited about something. I'm like, so the next thing, after you have your notes, figure out what type of learner you are. Because if you're in lecture and you're listening to her and you're like, this is complete gibberish, which I know a lot of people like that, try to find videos. I would always watch videos on conditions that I really didn't understand, and it would help me understand it 3 million times better. There's a lot of great nursing YouTube videos on YouTube, so utilize them. A lot of nursing videos on YouTube, so utilize them. Like Sarah RN, Nurse Sarah RN, something like that. I watch her all the time. She has a lot of the conditions that they really emphasize when it comes to med-surg, so I would try that out as well. I wanted to say next, which is extremely important, you guys. Like, please listen to this next tip. Do practice questions. Practice questions are your best friend. Nothing's going to prepare you more than constantly retesting yourself and testing yourself and testing yourself. Med-surg, it's not really recall. Like, it's not really recall. It's one of those things where it's critical thinking for the most part, and you just have to know what they're asking you. Like, honestly, the question is more tricky than anything else. Some people get like sidetracked by information that might be in the question when that's not even really the important part. So just practice that. Also know that anything that says always or must, usually not that answer, because nothing's that clear cut. It will usually be avoid or something like that. Like, it's nothing. If anything says never or always, it's definitely not that one. Go ahead and cross it off. And then just figure out what they're asking and answer that specific part. Don't add stuff into the question that they didn't even say. I used to have a hard time with that at first, and then I finally got it by doing multiple questions over and over again. Like, if they ask a question about one trick, if you're thinking about a critical situation and they're like, oh, who are you going to go see first? Things like that. Remember your ABCs. Your ABCs are your best friend. Airway, breathing, circulation. Always do that first if they're asking a question like that. And then if you can narrow it down from there, or you might already have the answer just by doing that, but if you can't, do that. And then if you still are having trouble choosing to, just think about what will kill them first. Okay, so if it was coming down to like something dealing with skin versus something that might be dealing with the heart or blood or breathing issues, anything like that, obviously those are all going to come before some skin issue. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times, my teacher right now, she's one of the teachers where it's like, you should always be doing an intervention before you call the doctor. So most of the time, call the doctor is not the answer. Like, you as a nurse will always have an intervention before you do that, because you want to make sure that you can save this patient's life before you call the doctor and give them the rundown. Okay, so that's another tip. Just remember to go with your gut. Usually the first choice is the best choice, and you chose that choice for a reason, so just stick with it unless you're 100% positive that that's not the answer. Next, I would get the Saunders book. And I'll insert a clip because it might be too bright right now, but this book is everything. And honestly, I wish I would have got it sooner because it helps with literally everything. So this will break down the condition, this will tell you the symptoms, this will tell you nursing rationale, like client teaching, nursing interventions, and then it also gives you practice questions like at the end of each little section. So this book has really helped me, and I think that it would really help a lot of you guys too. And I'm sure you've probably heard of this book from like multiple other nursing YouTubers, because they know this is clutch, and you're going to use it for NCLEX as well. Like, a lot of people do use this. This is like the comprehensive review for the NCLEX exam. So just imagine, this has everything in it. Everything incredibly important. I'm currently using this in Peds and OB right now, and everything, like, it's great. And I also wanted to remind you guys, med-surg can be incredibly stressful, but just find some way to relieve stress, because you will get stressed out from time to time. My thing is going to the gym, so if you can find something to relieve stress, do it. Lastly, I would make sure that I find a good study group. So I got my study group We've been studying since first semester. It was what works. Like, I have, she also has a YouTube channel, Udo. Like, she is one of the people that, like, challenges me, and she knows what she's talking about too, so we'll just go back and forth, back and forth. But my entire, like, study group is great because we can bounce off of each other and explain things in a way that it really clicks. Some people are better at things than others, so it just helps. But make sure that your group is actually getting stuff done. If you're in a group and all you're doing is playing around, you're not going to retain anything. Like, you're wasting your time, basically. You'd be better off studying alone. And if you are one of those people who likes to study alone, that's fine. But just make sure you are challenging yourself. You get caught up in the way that you think that you could possibly be seeing it from another angle or another way, and it would help you retain it. So don't be afraid to ask for help, even if you do prefer to study alone. So with that being said, hopefully all of these tips will help you get an A in med-surg. It's possible, guys. Do not give up. It's possible. Even if you're currently taking it now and you think that you're not going to pass, promise you will, because there's so many of my friends where I'm like, don't drop it. You can do it. Just figure out what works, stick with it, keep challenging yourself, do your practice questions, and keep at it. And you have it. So thank you guys for watching this video. This is Shauna from the Twin Diaries, and good luck in nursing school, guys.